Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz, Shauketaly.
Hello and a splendid morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And we broadcast, of course, on TV1, live on Facebook, and a little bit later on YouTube. And this morning we have with us a member of the JVP, that vociferous political entity that has made some inroads. And representing that party this morning is Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa. Very good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning, Faraz.
How are you?
Okay, we don't have any internal dispute in our party.
You have no
others.
I see.
So we are moving to broaden the democracy in the country.
So is your party a Pirisudu Pakshayak?
Yes.
In the truest sense of the word?
We can proudly say, and we can ensure the people that we are very clear and transparent.
And corruption free?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
It's actually it's a base of the party. That's the main faith we receive from the people.
You know, you're a doctor, so I'm going to ask you this question. After angioplasty or a little cleanup of your heart, people who've had it or have had a stent done or the blocks unblocked and so on, people say that it's so refreshing to be alive, that they feel so different. For you, belonging to this JVP, do you feel like that? Do you feel refreshed and energized? Because you look at the other parties and they're all engulfed in sleaze and in corruption. And accusations of everything under the sun. Even the speaker of the party, or of the parliament, who has enjoyed a sort of reputation, is now being accused of being one of the most partisan speakers in the history of our democracy. And so Mr. Clean is finding it very difficult to maintain that image, Mr. Clean. So when you look at all that, you have deputy leaders of parties who are being told by Supreme Court judges that there is a prima facie case to be investigated against corrupt activities. You've had monies being found in all sorts of places, acquisition of assets. You have people writing books and so on. The list is endless. This whole program I can carry on. And so when you look at that, and do you think, well, thank God we've got nothing of that. Is it refreshing to be a party like that?
All the members of the party, as well as not the members who never vote for that party, UNP, expect a significant change of the leadership. And that means not the leadership, actually the leader. That is one, we got to know that is one of the main promises, getting the votes and support for the no confidence motion for especially the UNP backbenchers. But all the hopes went lost.
Like that.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yes. Gone. And
false
no promises. Refreshment, and they have to work in the same scenario. Maybe worse than the former period, because he appointed General Secretary most favorable for him, for the party.
Now, I want to stop you there with the appointment of Akhil Viraj Kariwasam as the General Secretary of the party. I just want to stop you there for a few seconds, and I want to go back. The same person, who is also the leader of the United National Party, the minister in charge of the subject of the central bank. There, in spite of opposition in January 2015, in spite of opposition, stated opposition, these statements have not been challenged by these people thereafter, after the media reported it, including President Sirisena, Rajitha Senaratta, Patali Champika Ranawaka, all expressed displeasure and some suspicion as to the appointment, the suggestion by the newly appointed Prime Minister to have this man as the Governor of the Central Bank. So he appointed, the President just signing it that's just a pedantic thing. The real appointment came, the recommendation came from the Prime Minister, a component member of this good governance team. He appointed his personal friend, Arjuna Mahendran. Then, later on, when he was told to make sure there was no conflict of interest, he didn't check, because his friendship, clearly, I ever, that his friendship clouded his judgment, and he appointed Arjuna Mahendran. Today the country faces a real loss. This is not, as the former finance minister said, this is not a notional loss. This is a real loss to the people. Now, isn't it the same thing? Now that cost the country billions of rupees. Now he's appointed his personal friend. It is him. It is not. He has not had a vote in the United National Party. He decides, I will appoint Akhila Viraj Karyavasam as this. I will appoint Sajid Premadasa as this. I will appoint Navin Disanak. I will appoint Kabir Hashim.
I think everyone has friends and personal contacts and more favors, but in politics and regarding the works of the country, we have to keep our personal contacts and friendships somewhat beside, because they may intervene harmly to the progress and development of the country or a party or politics. But actually, this is not an amazing thing. Always, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, he did it in 2001 to 2004, this very small 2-year period, the government. And at that time also, this friends gathered him around, and they did corruptions. After the defeat of UNP government, they went back. So again, they returned in 2015.
They return when the honey is there and the honey is dripping. Then, like bees, yes. So then they come again, and you know, it's not their honey.
Yes, actually, Prime Minister, I mean, his friendship clouded the whole scenario from the beginning, and even now, he is not trying to support the investigations of the scam.
Well, exactly.
Yes. Actually, once he promised regarding Mr. Mahendran that he could take him to the country. Just he went out from the country for a wedding, and that is 2 years back. So if he has strong faith and friendship with him, his responsibility to take him to the country.
And if both the Prime Minister and his other friend, Malik Samaravikrama, both on national television, in the newspapers, on radio, they both said, Tamba Satyayak Paduak me ratata. Not a red cent has been lost. Yeah, really. Then why doesn't he bring them back? Why doesn't he say, you come, there's nothing, you didn't do anything wrong? No, Arjuna, dearest, please come back, clear your name, the judiciary is independent. Why can't he bring him back?
And now they are talking about the central bank has more assets than the loss of the perpetual treasuries. That is bullshit. I think no. This is this government named as a well governance, and this they promise to people for the responsible and transparent governing. So that is the bond between this government and the people. So they have to keep the faith and this promise.
But they are not doing it, Dr. Jayatissa. They are not doing it.
Yes, that's why
they keep promising, but no delivery. Where is the delivery?
Again, they breach the promises. That's why people have to go forward. I mean, right. So that's why we are trying to establish more rules and traditions into the political culture and political scenario. Otherwise, we can't keep the faith on only the people, but we have to move to establish institutions to maintain the law and order.
But Dr. Jayatissa, according to the Constitution of the United National Party, the working committee and so on can decide on the leader. Are you telling me that even though it is his people who are the working committee, can you really, are we all to believe that these people are like jellyfish, that they have no backbone, that they cannot insist and say, sir, you are bad news. Our party has no future, especially the young ones.
Yes, they should do it. Because
so why are they not doing it?
For the people, for the personal gains, maybe. And
but it must cost a lot of money.
I don't know, as MR kept some files of some of the ministers and his colleagues. The Prime Minister may run some hidden files. I don't know. But anyway, actually this is because of their internal democracy.
Yeah.
To give the democracy to the country, before that, we have to establish the democracy inside the party.
But that's precisely the point. Because if you don't, if you've got to first practice it in your party first.
Yeah.
Before you can take it to the country. And that is why everybody, and that is why this whole topic has become a national discussion. It's not only a UNP matter. The UNP is a component member of this good governance government. And therefore, the leader of the United National Party does matter to everybody in the country, irrespective of whether they support the UNP or not.
Yes, even in front of the judiciary system, they identify the party constitution, not the normal law. So this is very important and strong element inside the party. So if they need the democracy, they have to change the constitution. Otherwise, they can't think even to change the leader.
But surely the working committee can't expect people, organizations like Sirasa to do their job for them. But that's what we are doing. We have to, in the interest, or in the national interest, in the overriding national interest, we are reporting. And we are explaining the ramifications of not only just reporting, and at great impact to the group as well. On that note, don't go away, we're going for a short break. Do come back.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
Welcome back to Newsline. Several questions being posed by our viewers. A number of them are really asking how come this is the topic, but it is the talk of the country. Because, very simply put, the leader of the United National Party is the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is not only the Prime Minister of the United National Party membership. He is, put simply, the Prime Minister of the entire Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. And that's why. Now then, this vote of no confidence, what was your stance on that?
The previous one?
This one
No.
against the Prime Minister?
Yes, from the beginning we clearly expressed our stand to the country that we vote for the no confidence motion, whoever it presented to the Parliament.
Whether it is the JO or whoever.
JO, and
you're just going on the facts.
They have allegations. They deal with very. We know that all the charges are inquiry.
How did you personally vote?
For the no confidence motion.
In favour of the no confidence motion.
And
so, in short, against the Prime Minister.
Against Prime Minister, because the main two allegations made by JO is very clear, and we from the beginning we raised that two issues, especially with that bond scam.
Yeah.
You know that the full investigation we have done in the Parliament in the COP, and we submitted a report, and the Speaker and the Prime Minister promised to the Parliament that it would be sent to the Attorney General's Department for the inquiry.
Yes, I think about 13 of the 15 items.
13 out of 14, yes.
13 out of 14 referred to the bond.
Yeah.
Does that mean, and therefore it was against the Prime Minister as the Minister in charge of the subject at the time of the Central Bank. Does this mean, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, that we have in our country, in our democracy, a rogue Prime Minister?
No, I mean...
is he a rogue Prime Minister?
No, I have to explain more.
Yes, please do.
Because what happened to the no confidence motion, actually we have a chance to win. If the whole SLFE group support to the no confidence motion,
yeah.
For the last minute, the internal conflict of the SLFP impacted on the motion. That's why TNA and some of the Tamil and Muslim parties changed their the previous decision. Otherwise, we have a chance to change the Prime Minister.
My question is this, Doctor. The vote, the no confidence motion lists out various things.
Yes.
Did you all believe that to be true?
Yes, why not?
Right.
100%.
In that case, that's why my question is, in that case, does it mean that this Prime Minister is a rogue Prime Minister?
Yes.
That's what it means?
Yes.
So, we have a rogue Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And thanks to some other political activity,
Yes.
he managed to get away with it. So this is absolutely super.
Actually, if the JVP documented that no confidence motion, we have more allegations to add to safeguard the wrongdoers of the previous government and not implementing the judiciary procedure like that.
But who can President Sirisena trust more, MR or RW?
No one. I think
he should trust himself.
Yes, he should trust himself, as well as if he sticks to the mandate of the 2015 presidential election,
Yeah.
number of parliamentarians will support him.
But Doctor, after the 19th Amendment, his life has become increasingly difficult.
That is not by the 19th Amendment. Actually, what I see the fault is he's taking the power of the presidency of the SLFP.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he can continue as an impartial and the common president of the party, or if he continues as a common candidate, then to become a president, then he can settle a lot of problems. Then he can get the most support from the parliament even. But now even the SLFP members who are inside the government as well as the opposition are pressurizing him, and that's why that's the reason for some of his activities. So he can't trust RWO or MR to do. That's we have to face till 2020 general election.
Do you know, yesterday we had this clip that happened. Can I play it? It's an interesting clip. Let's have this clip. It's about one of the
Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake visited the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption to make a complaint over alleged malpractices at Sri Lanka cricket. When the Deputy Minister was leaving the premises, a motorcyclist stopped the Minister in his path to make several comments.
දූෂණයට විරුද්ධවනේ. ඉතින් මේ ආණ්ඩුව මොනවද කරේ? මහ බැංකුව අන්ටාවත් එක්කම තනිකර මේ රට විනාශ කරා. අමාරු විදිහනවා මම. ඉතින් මොකද්ද මේකේ තේරුම? බඩගෝස්තරවාදී දේශපාලනකල මේ රට කනවා. වෙනසක් නැහැ නේ අපි වෙනසකට සම්බන්ධ වෙනවා. ඔයා පක්ෂ වෙනස් කිරීමක් කරනවා. ඔන්සේකමතුමා අකුලට දැම්මට පස්සේ අපි හැමතැනම ගියා උසාවි ගියා. ප්‍රිසන් එකට ගියා හැමදාම සිරසෙන් දෙන්නා හතර නව ලෝකෙන් එළියට එනකොට. හැමදාම මෙතෙන්ට මම යනවා බලන්න. අනුවිරුවෙක් ඉන්නවා. මම කැලණියමයි ගාව මම ඉන්නේ දැන් කඩවක. අපිට කනගාටු අපිට වාසික ගැට කාවද අයින් වෙනවා. අපි කැමති නැහැ මේ සෙට් එකටම. ඔබතුමාලා ඉදිරියට එන්න ඕනේ. කවුද අයින් වෙනවද? ක්ලාස් ලෙවල් එකේ සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස, නවින් දිසානායකමත් මේ සෙට් එකට මේ ගැන්ටියට වාසයන් කියන ඔබතුමා ඉන්න ඕනේ. මෙතන. ධනතුරු නෙමෙයි අපිට ඕනේ. පුද්ගලයා හොඳයි ගන්න. මම ඥානක කරලා කියලා කෙනෙක්. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස නැතුව මොකද්ද මේ වෙන්නේ? දැන් බලන්න මේ ගෑනු ටිකක් දාලා මේ ටීමේට කරන වෙලේ අපිට පක්ෂිකාවට වැඩක් නැහැ. ඔය ගෑනු ටික නෙන්නේ. අකිල විරාජ්ලා. මම යන්න. ඉලලා නැගි වල්ලි. අර කෝල් කරන් අරන් හැබැයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඔබතුමාට සාධාරණයක් වෙනවා කියලා. දැයෝ. ඉතින්ද? එදත් සිද්ධිය ඒ වගේම අදත් ඉන්න හෙටත් ඉන්න කියලා අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
They were member of the public.
Yes.
And that's what is on his mind. And he ends up by saying that he hopes that Sirisa will be, that's us, would be the same as they were yesterday, today, and also tomorrow. And of course we will be, because we are the People's Channel.
All of the media.
We are.
Yes.
Right. Now then, you see the frustration of the general public.
Yes, we can see. Actually, that we saw during the local government election, when we analyzed the result, the governing parties, two governing parties, especially UNP as well as SLFP, lost the vote base because they can't keep the promises they made during two main elections in 2015, especially what they did to the corruption, wastage, as well as for the democracy and for the economy. So the people's frustration, they show this. They showed during the election period. That's why the new party got more votes. That's because of the failure of the two governing parties, especially by the UNP.
What can we do? What can the people do? I was going to dedicate this program to the 20th Amendment, but is very quickly, is the 20th Amendment the most important matter?
Yes, that is one of the most important matters, because President Sirisena received a mandate to abolish the executive presidency in 2015 presidential election.
He also received a mandate. Let's not forget, he received a mandate about good governance.
Yes, but we can't forget that he was the common candidate to abolish the executive presidency, nothing else. I mean, we found a common candidate.
Yes, but
after 20 to 22 years.
But Dr. Nalinda, that wasn't the only item on the manifesto. The primary objective, everybody, all of you all kept shouting about this corruption.
Yes, well governance.
Nepotism, this thing, family power, bandism. Where are the results? Why are the Rajapaksas or whoever did this robbery haven't been convicted?
Well governance include major two elements. One for the democracy and other for this anti-corruption movement. So people expect that.
What is this country coming to? You agreed that we have a rogue prime minister. Otherwise that whole motion of no confidence is false, but you agreed that you all believe it to be true.
Yeah.
Then we have, what sort of a man did we have as the governor of the central bank? A chap who has let his son-in-law rot in the Colombo remand prison. The husband of his daughter, for heaven's sake, a young man who couldn't have done what he did without the help of people in power. They are all on the outside. The father-in-law is on the run. His daughter, with the two kids, has been left in the lurch, and the son-in-law is in jail.
Maybe top officials of the government may ensure that there will be no harm to them, the Aloysius. Maybe, I don't know. But they have to obey to the law. Otherwise, the Prime Minister has a main responsibility.
But it was his other friend who he gave the position of law and order. Sagala Ratnayaka was the law and order, remember?
Yeah.
So it's very nice. One chum in the central bank, another chum Minister of International Trade and Development.
And for 1 week, Prime Minister himself responsible for the law and order ministry.
Bad news. Is it bad news? Or is it fake news?
Which one?
Is this all fake news, or is it really true? This is what's happening.
Yes, no. I mean, this, what we can see, where's the responsibility and transparency?
And
they promise to the people accountability. Yes. So they all depends on the people. I mean, they have to think and they have to decide. They have to work out the way we have to go, the country. We'll keep the internal conflicts of the parties. So it's depend on their working committee and the membership, but we have to go the country forward.
We have to act now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful 30 minutes, a little bit over. Thank you very much. And as the doctor agrees, we must act now. On that note, take care. God bless.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.